Welcome, everyone. My name is Jyotsna Bharadwaj, and I am a Senior Solutions Architect here at Databricks. In today's session, we are going to talk about Agent Bricks and see a demo of how you could use them to create high quality, production ready AI agents on your enterprise data. So let's get started. It's being said that 2025 is the year of agents, and rightly so. With the AI reasoning models improving at a fast pace, agents today are perhaps the most impactful and top GenAI application being built by enterprises. But with our numerous engagements with customers, we have realized that 90% of GenAI projects do not go into production. So, what are the key areas of concerns? The key areas of concern are around accuracy, quality, and cost. Building high quality agents has been often too complex for several reasons. Number one, these systems are compound AI systems, which means too many knobs with many components, and each of the components have their own knobs from tuning prompts to index, chunking strategies to model choices and fine tuning parameters. Each adjustment creates unknown effects across the system. What should be the fast iterative improvement becomes an expensive and tedious manual trial and error, slowing time to production. Secondly, quality and evaluation is difficult. Many enterprise AI tasks are difficult to evaluate for both humans and even automated LLM judges. Building nuanced evaluations often requires expensive manual labeling. As a result, promising projects stalled in endless tuning cycles with stakeholders losing confidence due to unclear progress. Even after teams solve these two issues and are able to build high quality agents, they are often surprised to find that the agent is too expensive to scale into production. So teams get stalled in either a long cost optimization process or are forced to make trade offs between cost and quality. Based on our above experiences working with customers to ship AI into production, our engineering has spent the last year rethinking the best way to build agents, and the result is our product, which is known as Agent Bricks. Agent Bricks allows you to build agents auto optimized on your data. So, what does that mean? We are providing a higher level of abstraction to help customers quickly build high quality agents for specific domain problems. So, the way it works is that you specify your task, you feed in your data, and you define in natural language what you want to accomplish based on your business needs. And you leave the tools and the techniques on how we build it to us. We evaluate and find best way to use models and build the agent best optimized, auto optimized for quality and cost trade off. And not only this, we provide an iterative process where you can feed us more label data or even just guidelines in natural language, and we will continue to improve the agent quality. All of this is powered under the hood by what we call as ALHF, agent learning from human feedback from our in-house research team. ALHF automatically adjusts all components of an agent, whether it is a tool, vector search, LLM judges, etc., to the natural language guidance which is provided. Agent Bricks is also unified with the rest of the Databricks system, which makes it really easy to use. So, under one roof, you have everything available in a unified fashion to build agents end to end. Using UC volumes and delta tables, you can access your structured as well as unstructured data to build these domain specialized agent endpoints. And when it comes to serving, you can serve it either in batch mode or do real time inference using our existing tooling around batch inference, Lakeflow declarative pipelines, and also access these models inside AI Playground. You can also integrate them to external applications or web applications built using Databricks apps. Now, as it stands, currently you could use agent breaks for four main use cases. Number one is for information extraction, using which you can turn unstructured data into structured insights by extracting out key information. Second is custom LLM, in which you can tailor an LLM to generate custom text, helping you convert domain specific guidelines on your unstructured data into actionable insights. So you could use it to summarize customer service calls, or generate reports, or tailor a chat model to enterprise policies, or even create marketing material aligned to your company style. Using agent bricks, you can also build high quality interactive agents. For example, a knowledge assistant to turn your docs into an expert AI chatbot, or a multi-agent supervisor which helps you orchestrate number of agents or tools together, or even use AI BI Genie for getting insights on your structured data. So with that introduction to agent bricks, now let's jump into the demo. For the demo, we are going to assume that we are Green Sheen. Green Sheen, which is an eco-conscious manufacturer of premium interior and exterior paints. So Green Sheen is struggling with manual, time-consuming process across procurement and customer support. And their team faces challenge in extracting invoice data, accessing product information, and leveraging call transcripts for coaching and quality improvement. The four demo use cases which I'm going to show you today are number one for the procurement team. So the procurement team today manually processes high volume of supplier invoices. We will see how using the agent break for information extraction, you could extract key fields, PO number, date, amount, line item, etc. from PDF invoices and automate this entire process. The second use case would be to help the customer support agents who today struggle to quickly access answers from scattered product manuals, FAQs, safety data sheets, etc. The third use case would be using the custom LLM, in which we are going to see how we can help the customer support manager who wants to analyze past call transcripts to understand customer sentiment and also to improve her team's performance. And lastly, we will see how you could use the multi-agent agent break to build a smart support bot which tailors its answers by checking the customer's order history before referring to any product documentation to come up with personalized answers. So with this introduction, let's jump right into the demo. Now, I am now inside my Databricks workspace, and what you see is Unity catalog. Um, and inside one of the UC volumes, what I have done is I have created these separate directories. So I have all the invoices of Green Sheen from different suppliers. So these are in PDF format. As you can see, here are the item details and other information related to the invoices. And I have number of these invoices. I also have a handwritten invoice, which is in JPEG format. And as you can see, uh, it has all the details, but it is handwritten. So we'll see if the agent breaks, using agent breaks, we are able to extract information out of a JPEG as well. The second source I have is the knowledge base, in which I have all the product documentation. Again, in PDF format, these are number of pages with product information as well as some FAQs, which are useful information for the support team who is addressing customers' queries. And then there is some additional information which is in text format for commercial order lead times, as well as how to handle site visits or reseller pricing terms, etc., etc. This third data source with me is the call transcripts. And just to show you a sample of that, for example, here I have Agent Sophie who is interacting with the customer, Mr. Larson, and all the to and fro communication between the two has been captured as part of the call transcript and made available to us. So this is the data which I have. Now let's see how we will leverage that to build agents. Agent breaks you can access from over here. Let me open that in a new tab. So these are the 4 use cases which I mentioned a while back. The first thing that we need to do is be able to use the PDFs and parse them. Uh, so we'll do that using the AI parse document function, which is made available through this button over here, which lets you convert PDFs into Markdown and store them in a table. And it allows you to do that not only for PDFs, but for image files as well, for example, JPEG. So how does that work? What I do over here is that I select my folder, my volume. So I select that. And then all I need to do is that select, I need to select the catalog as well as the schema and give a name to the table where I want the markdowns to be created. And in the background, it uses AI parse document and it creates a workflow which helps uh, generate that. So I already did that for our invoices. So let's see what was created as part of this pipeline. So it created this table, delta table, invoices passed. And if I see the sample data over here, for all the PDFs, it has nicely created this markdown, which we can then use to do key information extraction. Similarly, for my handwritten JPEG also, I ran the same pipeline. And even for that handwritten invoice, it was able to extract the information and it has created this markdown for me. Now with this data ready, now let's see how we build information extraction. So all you need to do is you click on this build button over here. We give the agent a name. We are using unlabeled data set, so we will select this option. And next what you do is you select the table which you want to use for this particular purpose. Let me go back. So this is the one, and then I select this. And then you have to let it know which column from the table it needs to use. And based on the information provided, it generates a sample JSON output. You can choose to use this or you can modify it as well according to your business needs. And that is it. With this minimal information provided, the agent breaks will be able to create an agent for us by just clicking on this button, create agent. It normally takes about a minute or 2 minutes to create the agent. So in interest of time, I already created an agent so we can walk through that. So if I go over here, this was the configuration which I just showed you. As part of the build process, what it does is that Agent Bricks on its own comes up with some recommendation which you can choose to use as guidelines, as you can see on the top, or you can use to ignore as well. It has also come up with the schema definition based on the JSON which was specified. And now if I review the results, so for this particular invoice, I can see that it has nicely created the JSON structure based on the schema which was provided. So far it seems really good. I also ran a evaluation on this, which lets me build more confidence on the way the agent is performing. And just to see the results, as you can see over here, it shows me what was the input, what was the expected response, and what was the output which was given. And based on that, it evaluates on each and every field which is part of the schema, and it gives it a score. So now once I am happy with my agent, what do I do next? I can then use my agent to extract data from all documents from my SQL editor. So if I click on this, as you can see over here, what it does is that it gives me this nice SQL query in which it is using AI query on the endpoint which was given to it on this particular table, and using this I can do batch inference. So now instead of running the inference on invoices passed, I would want to run it on that handwritten invoice just to see how it gives me the result. So let's see, it will take a moment because my SQL warehouse wasn't running, but it comes up with the result. So this was the input, the markdown. And if you see over here, it has nicely given me the schema. Based on the schema, it has generated the response, which makes me really happy, right? Now, the other thing which you can also do is going back to my agent. In case you want, you can also run the optimize function over here, which will optimize your agent on cost and quality based on the input which has been provided. And in your review tab, you can compare it to the baseline agent and see after optimization, did it give you better results? Was it better as far as the cost or throughput was concerned, and so on and so forth. And then depending upon that, you can deploy the best model to your endpoint. All right, so this was about the key extraction agent break. The next that we are going to see is custom LLM. So in this case, what we want to do is that we wanted to use the call transcripts. So the first thing we will do is again use those PDFs and generate the markdowns. So if I go over here, I already did this task as earlier, and if you see, it has passed all those PDF documents with all the conversation between the agent and customer, and the data has been made available to us. And again, similar to how we did for information extraction, you click on the build button over here, you describe in some detail your task, and then you choose the data set, for example, this, and then again, you just click on create agent and that is it. So it is as simple as that. I already have a custom LLM already created. So again, I'm showing you the configuration over here. And if I go to the build part of it, it has given me some review results. So let's see if it did a good task at that or not. So this is my call transcript, and the agent response over here gives me a summary. It also gives me agent strengths, improvement areas, coaching notes, training suggestions, and also feedback for escalation. So all in all, it has actually adhered to the description of the task which I had given, in which I wanted it to include a summary of the call, the agent's strengths, coaching notes, suggestions, and so on and so forth. Right, so it gives us a few more samples over here, but overall, as you can see, it has done a really great job just based on my instructions in natural language and some guidelines to create an agent like that. Like for the in a similar fashion to the key information extraction agent, you can also run evaluation on it and see how well it has done on each one of these guidelines. You can also use it to run batch inference, or again, based on the data which has been made available by you, you can run and optimize on it, or even create a ETL pipeline. Right. All right. So this was the custom LLM in which we showed that how you could use it to do some analysis on the call transcripts. The next agent that we are going to see is the knowledge assistant. So in knowledge assistant, the intention was that we build a chatbot which actually uses the product documentation, which I showed you a while back inside the UC volume, and then be able to come up with a chatbot which can help all the customer support agent. So as with other agents, all you need to do is give a description of the task for the knowledge assistant and give it the source, which is your UC volume. Um, in this example, the knowledge base. And that is it. It is as easy as that. You can choose to give it some more instruction, and then you click on the create agent button, and in a minute or 2 minutes, your agent should be ready. So I already pre-created a knowledge assistant. So let me click over here and see what were the guidelines which I had given it. So if you see over here, I gave it in 1 or 2 lines what it is supposed to do. I did not give it any heavy instructions. So let's see if it is able to mm, get me some details on, let's say, Rust block enamel. I can interact with the chatbot over here. I could also use it in Playground, or I could integrate this particular endpoint inside a web application created using Databricks app or any external application as well using REST-based APIs. So if you see over here, this is the reasoning that it did, and eventually it came up with this particular answer, and it is also grounded. It is giving me footnotes, and it is also telling me which document it used to come up with this answer. So it is doing a really good job. Now let's see if I ask it a question which is absolutely out of context based on the documentation which has been provided. So if I ask it which one is better, iPhone or Android, and let's see what it does over here. So again, it has started its reasoning process. And if you see over here, it has actually done a comparison between iPhone and Android, which I don't want it to do. I want it to stick to the documentation and the knowledge base which I have provided. So what do I do over here? So for this, I can go to the improve quality tab, and I can actually give it some guidelines, or I could also have subject matter experts uh, give feedback and guidelines. So in case I want to do it, I just click over here and I can give the guideline over here and click save. Or I can choose to start a labeling session, in which I open a labeling session over here and uh, let it come up with the answer. And after that, I should be able to give it a guideline and then merge it with the feedback, which can then be used by the agent. So let's say I give it a guideline to not to answer such questions, and then I save it over here. Next, what I do is that I go ahead and then I merge this feedback from the SMEs to your labeled data set. So let me just merge it. So it's over here. And now if I go back and let's say if I ask the same question again, let's see if it is able to adhere to the newly given guideline or not. All right, so it did take the guidelines and into practice, and it did not answer the question. All right, so this is how you can interact with it, and you can give guidelines and iteratively improve your knowledge assistant. All right, so the last one that we are going to see is the multi-agent supervisor. So in this particular case, we want the agent to also use the customer information, the customer order history. So I already have these two tables, delta tables, one with customer information and the other one with some order history for different customers, how much they have purchased, what quantity, amount, so on and so forth. And based on these two tables, what I have done is that I have created a Genie space, Genie green gene space. So as you can see, it has these two tables, and as you know, you can interact in natural language inside Genie space. So what we are going to do is that we are going to create a multi-agent supervisor, which would actually have two agents. One would be the Genie space, and the other one would be the knowledge assistant, which I created. So if I go over here, and this is my multi-agent green sheen orchestrator. So as you can see, it has two agents. One is the green sheen space, the Genie space, and the other one is the knowledge assistant endpoint, which I had created a while back. And what I have also done is, again, in natural language, I have given some guidance to my agent, and I'm asking it to use the information in the Genie room to personalize and ground the response before it refers to any product documentation and comes up with the answer. So again, I can interact with the agent over here, or even I can interact inside the playground. So let's see, it has started again the reasoning process. It knows that this is the question, and now the first agent which it should ideally be interacting with should be Genie space to get the customer information as well as the order information. So it handed off to green sheen space, which is my Genie space. That was the first step it did. And once it found the information, the next step it did was then it started interacting with the other agent, which is the knowledge assistant green sheen. And then finally, it comes up with this personalized response in which it says that I can see that Alice from Vista Builder is a valued customer. It also tells me what was the recent purchase, when was it done, and then it is also asking me to talk to uh, Alice and let her know that if she has any questions about optimal tinting ratios for particular application, our technical support team is available to assist further. So pretty impressive with just few clicks and natural language and me providing it the data. I have been able to create all these wonderful agents. I can also improve the quality of my multi-agent in a similar fashion as I did for the knowledge assistant by giving it these questions and guidelines and feedback. I can do that using subject matter experts as well, and then merge the feedback uh, into my labeled data set. Right. So with that, we saw all these four agents and how they can help green sheen. So what are our key takeaways? So as you can see, Agent Bricks delivers high quality auto optimized agents. It is powered by latest research such as ALHF, and it is the fastest way to build production ready agents on your enterprise data. So I would really um, request you all to try out Agent Bricks, get in touch with your account teams, try it out, and let us know what wonderful use cases you are able to build using Agent Bricks. Thank you, everyone.